respiration, and fermentation.
Living cells require energy from outside source. Some animals, such as the chimpanzee, obtain energy by eating plants. And some animals feed on other organisms that eat plants. What is cellular respiration? Cellular respiration is the process in which cells break down glucose, release the stored energy, and use the energy to make ATP. For each glucose molecule that undergoes this process, up to 38 molecules of ATP are produced. Each ATP molecules form when a phosphate is added to ADP or adenosine diphosphate. This requires energy, which is stored in the ATP molecule. When cells need energy, a phosphate can be removed from ATP. This releases the energy and forms ADP again. What happens during cellular respiration? Cellular respiration involves many biochemical reactions. However, the overall process can be summed up in a single chemical equation. Cellular respiration uses oxygen in addition to glucose. It releases carbon dioxide and water as a waste products. Cellular respiration actually burns glucose for energy. However, it doesn't produce light or intense heat like burning a candle or a log. Instead, it releases the energy slowly in many small steps. The energy is used to form dozens of molecules of ATP. Where does cellular respiration take place? Cellular respiration takes place in the cells of all organisms. It occurs in autotrophs such as plants, as well as heterotrophs such as animals. Cellular respiration begins in the cytoplasm of cells. It is completed in mitochondria. The mitochondrion is a membrane-enclosed organelle in the cytoplasm. It's sometimes called the powerhouse of the cell because of its role in cellular respiration. Stages of cellular respiration: glycolysis, Krebs cycles, electron transport. Stage 1. Glycolysis. Glycolysis is the first stage of cellular respiration. It takes place in the cytoplasm of the cell. The word glycolysis means glucose splitting. That's exactly what happens in this stage. Enzymes split the molecules of glucose into two smaller molecules called pyruvate. This results in net gain of two molecules of ATP. Other energy storing molecules are also produced. Their energy will be used in stage 3 to make more ATP. Glycolysis does not require oxygen. Anything that doesn't need oxygen is described as anaerobic. Stage 2. The Krebs cycle. The pyruvate molecules from glycolysis next enter the matrix of a mitochondrion. That's where the second stage of cellular respiration takes place. This stage is called the Krebs cycle. During this stage, two more molecules of ATP are produced. Other energy storing molecules are also produced to be used to make more ATP in stage 3. The Krebs cycles requires oxygen. Anything that needs oxygen is described as aerobic. The oxygen combines with the carbon from the pyruvate molecules. This forms carbon dioxide, a waste product. Stage 3. Electron transport. The third and the final stage of cellular respiration is called electron transport. Remember the other energy storing molecules from glycolysis and the Krebs cycle? Their energy is used in this stage to make many more molecules of ATP. In fact, during this stage, as many as 34 molecules of ATP are produced. Electron transports require oxygen, so this is also aerobic. The oxygen combines with hydrogen from the energy storing molecules. This forms water, another waste product. Cellular respiration and photosynthesis. Cellular respiration and photosynthesis are like two sides of the same coin. The products of photosynthesis are needed for cellular respiration. The products of cellular respiration are needed for photosynthesis. Together, the two processes store and release energy in virtual living things. What is fermentation? Some organisms can produce ATP from glucose anaerobically. One way this happens is called fermentation. Fermentation includes the glycolysis step of cellular respiration. However, it doesn't include the other aerobic steps. There are two types of fermentation: lactic acid fermentation, alcoholic fermentation. Lactic acid fermentation. In lactic acid fermentation, glycolysis is followed by a step that produces lactic acid. These steps form additional molecules of ATP. Lactic acid fermentation occurs in some bacteria, including the bacteria in yogurt. The lactic acid gives unsweetened yogurt its sour taste. Your own muscle cells can also undertake lactic acid fermentation. This occurs when the cells are working very hard. They use fermentation because they can't get oxygen fast enough for aerobic respiration to supply them with all the energy they need. The muscle cells of the hurdle in the pictures are using lactic acid fermentation by the time the athletes reach finish line. Alcoholic fermentation. In alcoholic fermentation, glycolysis is followed by a step that produces alcohol and the carbon dioxide. These steps also forms additional molecules of ATP. It occurs in yeast such as the yeast and bread. Carbon dioxide from alcoholic fermentation create gas bubbles in bread dough. The bubbles leave little holes in the bread after it bakes. You can see them in the bread in picture above. The holes make the bread light and fluffy. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration releases far more energy than anaerobic respiration does. It results in the formation of many more molecules of ATP. Anaerobic respiration is much quicker than aerobic respiration. It also allows organisms to live in place where there is little or no oxygen, such as a deep under water or soil.